Hey everyone, welcome back to my LeetCode 75 study plan series. Today we are going to be doing our 9th video in the series. We're going to be moving on to the two-pointer section and doing the moveZeroes problem. And for those of you who have been keeping up with the series, you may have noticed that I'm actually skipping over the string compression problem. And the reason for that being is because the problem is I would say very disliked by the LeetCode community, and also I think it's kind of a convoluted, confusing problem, and I didn't think that making a video on it would be beneficial for anyone because I don't think it's really something that would be asked in in an interview, and there's kind of a general consensus about this online. It's just that the instructions are kind of confusing. I went ahead and solved the problem, and it looked like a solution that wasn't really going to, I don't know, be something that y'all could really learn from. Because I myself didn't really take much from it, so I figured that we'd move on to this next video in the two-pointer series, or the two-pointers category called moveZeroes, and this is an easy ranked problem. And I would indeed say that I agree with the categorization of the difficulty for this particular problem. So let's go ahead and dive right in. So for the instructions, it's given an integer array nums, move all zeros to the end of it while maintaining the relative order of the non-zero elements. Note that you must do this in place without making a copy of the array. Okay, cool. So our hint is kind of in the category of the problem that we're solving, right? We have to do two pointers. So for those of you who haven't done that before, it's just basically a coding technique that allows you to solve various problems such as this. So what we want to do is basically we need to create two variables that are going to be our two pointers. One of those is going to be I inside of a for loop, and then the other one is going to be called next non-zero. And I'll explain this as we're kind of going through it, but for now what we want to do is just declare a variable called next non-zero, and we'll set that to 0. And then we want to make a for loop, and it's just going to be iterate through the length of the array, the input array. Okay, and then basically what we want to do is we want to check if nums at index I is, if it's not 0, then basically what we're going to do is we're going to use next non-zero to figure out basically all the non-zero numbers are going to be placed at the front of the array. So we're keeping track of where we should place the non-zero numbers, and we're going to do this using a temp variable. So int temp equals nums at next non-zero, and this will all make sense kind of after we finish this. So nums at next non-zero is equal to nums at I. Alright, and then nums at I goes back to the temp variable, and then we increment next non-zero. Alright, so this should actually work for our solution. Go ahead and submit this. So yeah, this is a pretty straightforward solution. Here, I'm going to go ahead and run it so you guys can see the sample output. Sweet. Alright, so we see here we're given the input of 0, 1, 0, 3, 12, and then it pushes the zeros to the back using this two-pointer approach. So pretty straightforward problem. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave those in the comments. And then as far as the time and space complexity goes, the time complexity is going to be big O of n because it's n is the length of the input of the array, and this is because we're iterating through the array once. And then for the space complexity, it's just big O of 1 because we're not using any additional data structures whose size depends on the input. So it's it's a fast solution. It's simple, and if you all have any questions, please feel free to ask those in the comments. Any suggestions on videos, please feel free to ask to put those in the comments as well. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.